And a good Saturday to everybody. I'm Jewel, and this is J7409 Weather. Here's the latest run of the GFS map. What is going on today before I even turn it on into action, folks? We got severe weather and flash flooding that's going to be possible across portions of the northern and central plains and to the upper middle Mississippi Valley. Heavy rainfall and localized flooding are forecast for parts of the southeast coast and the Carolinas. Hot weather is going to persist across much of the southern tier and stretch into the east. So let's turn this on. I'm going to have a complete severe weather outlook and maps, of course, showing you, but I want to turn this on right quick and tell you a little bit more about what's going on. Now today, a cold front is expected to pass through the northern and central plains, and while a couple of slow-moving fronts stretch across the middle Mississippi Valley and central plains. Now, these fronts will provide a focus for thunderstorms which could be severe and cause flash flooding. Then we have a stationary frontal boundary and high moisture levels. That's going to lead to potential for multiple rounds of heavy rain through the entire weekend for portions of the southeast into the coastal Carolinas. Now, the heaviest ample rainfall over the past few days has been in the Florida Big Bend area. Now, it's looking like you guys are going to get some more. So you know that flooding and flash flooding is a threat and a great possibility for your area. So far as the temperatures go, well, it's going to remain warmer than average for much of the southern half of the U.S. for the weekend. Excessive heat warnings are still in effect for portions of the southwest, and record high temperatures could be set in the southern high plains as highs over 100 degrees are forecast. By Sunday, tomorrow, high temperatures in the 90s will extend as far north as the Great Basin in the west and the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic in the east. Meanwhile, we have a potent cold front. It's going to lead to much below average temperatures for the northern plains for the remainder of the weekend. Now, as we take a look at the categorical outlook for severe weather today, well, yes, we do have that chance, folks. Severe storms are expected over parts of the northern and central plains into the upper Midwest later this afternoon and tonight, and some of these storms are also possible now from the Ohio Valley into western New England, as you can see right up in here. Here's the greatest chance right in here where we have a number 3 enhancement. As you can see, that is South Dakota, portions of Minnesota and Iowa, and just a tad of the northern section of Nebraska. But this is a good chance in this darker green on the outlying areas. Don't let it fool you. Anywhere you have green, something could pop up. Now, let's take a look at the tornado threat itself, and I want to talk a little bit about this. It's a 5% chance right in this area from northern Missouri, a large portion of Iowa, a little bit of Minnesota going over into South Dakota and Nebraska, 2% in the outlying areas. Folks, be aware, because what it's looking like for the middle Mississippi Valley region right now, these storms will develop tonight and reinforce the front across Kansas and northern Minnesota. Now, this activity may be ongoing across Kansas and Minnesota at the start of today, but they should decrease in coverage as it shifts eastward toward the boundary line later on. Now, the warm sector south in the vicinity of this boundary is going to become unstable, and you really need to pay attention in these areas because the Cape readings are going to be 2,500 to 3,500 JKs. So the timing and placement of redevelopment of these storms are a little bit uncertain, but the way it's looking right now, the atmosphere will probably remain capped to the surface-based storms until evening. Then the low-level jet's going to take over and make play, and storms should redevelop anywhere from northeast Kansas, eastern Nebraska, into Iowa, where the environment will support supercells capable of damages and a lot of large hail, and maybe a few tornadoes is also possible. Now, if this development occurs before the boundary layer decouples, the activity may grow upscale and continue eastward into northern Illinois overnight with a continued threat for damaging wind. When it comes to the Central Plains, you guys right here, this is the tornado. I've just told you, you do have a good chance. We're going to look at the wind right now, but when it comes to the Central Plains, this deep mixing in the vicinity of the trough and dry line will once again support high base storms from the Texas Panhandle, where you see right here, you can have some high base storms right into western Oklahoma and southern Kansas, with the primary threat being isolated damaging wind and hail. Now, other storms are expected to develop over the higher terrain or along the dry line from eastern Colorado into southeast Wyoming and spread east into the corridor of the moderate instability. During this afternoon and evening, expect isolated damaging wind and large hail that's very possible for you guys. Then, you can see all this wind right in here, as I have talked about, and see here's Colorado, Wyoming. You guys aren't left out of it. It goes all the way up to the northeast. Now, we'll take a look at the hail right quick. Oh my goodness, it is out there. For the Ohio Valley region, what you guys can expect is ongoing storms over the middle Mississippi Valley that's going to continue into the Ohio Valley. Now, during the day, moderate instability of 30 to 35 kD deep layer flow is going to reside, and storms may intensify during the afternoon and become capable of producing isolated damaging winds, as I showed you on that map a while ago. But the hail chances, looking like South Dakota, you got a big fat chance of some fairly large and damaging hail. Also over here in Iowa and the very northern sections of Missouri, you've got a great chance of severe hail. But it goes on to 15% all the way down into Kansas. That goes up to Illinois, a large portion of Minnesota, and wraps back around, as you can see, down into Nebraska. And 5% chances from the Texas Panhandle up to Indiana, up to all of Minnesota, little of Wisconsin, North and South Dakota, Wyoming, Colorado, Kansas, and then back down into Oklahoma. So that's a check of your weather today. Be safe, my friends. These storms are very unstable. They can produce a lot of damage. So with all that said and done, be safe, my friends. Have a good day, a safe day, and a blessed day. Yes, I know what's going on down around Florida, but I've done some more research. I think that system is probably going to be it's headed right towards me, okay? That's where it's headed, right towards me, but I think it should be around me by Sunday or Monday at the latest, so it's got to develop before then, before we can call it anything. Right now, I don't think it will. I'll keep my eyes on it, and you check out the tropical report that I've done. I go in detail. Peace, love, and kindness to all. Thanks for everything you do for me. Have a wonderful, safe, and blessed day. Peace, love, and kindness to all.